Hello, it's Sally here. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me. Today I thought I would start a new project. I don't think it's going to take too long to do. It's just something that well, it's really weird because last night I was having to think about I'd finished a project and I said to myself, oh, what shall I sew? And that kind of reminded me of a phrase, oh, what shall I wear today? What shall I sew today? I think I said, or something like that. And so it kind of reminded me of a phrase, what shall I wear today? And I thought, okay, then I'm going to go with that. In fact, I actually thought of something else, what shall I sew today? And I thought, oh, that's going to make a great project for my next workshop in September. So that's kind of a little hint for the ladies who follow me, who come to my workshop. That's kind of like what we're going to be doing in September, but that's all I'm going to say for now. I'll let you kind of guess and whatever. But anyway, so that kind of led me on to, oh, what shall I wear today? And I thought, right, I'm going to go with that. I've got this piece of fabric here. And I made this, this is a couple of videos ago where I showed you how to make fabric, how I make fabric from just little offcuts of other fabrics, and it gives me a background to work on. And then when I'm thinking of new projects, I've kind of got backgrounds already assembled and ready to go, which is so handy because this is going to be ideal for my next project. So I've got this, and I've been doing a little bit of drawing. I'm not very good at drawing myself, so I've kind of drawn and traced what I've drawn and everything to kind of neaten it all up a bit. And this is what I've come up with. So we've got a little frock, a little bonnet, some shoes and a little handbag, and the phrase, oh, what shall I wear today? So that's going to go on here. So what I've done is I have I may make this available on my in my Etsy shop as a download, if I can work out how to do it. So if you wanted to do one yourself. So what I've done is I've traced my designs and I have them here. So I've got the little handbag, I've got the frock, I've got the little bonnet and the shoe. I've only traced one shoe because I thought I could flip it over. So I only need to do it once. So kind of like handbag there, bonnet. I hope you can see everything. I'm sorry that the sun is coming through as well. I can't do anything about that. It's late afternoon here, so I get the sun. So kind of like that. I may kind of like move them around a bit. Oh, what shall I wear today? That's not going to fit in there, so that might have to come up a little bit. We might just have to zhuzh those down a bit like that. Just shuffle down. Oh, what shall I wear? Right, let's try and get it right. So like that. I'll have the bag there. It'll go something like that anyway. I may need to just move over a bit there, move that over a little bit there. But as long as I can get them all in, then I'm fine. There's one shoe there and then there's one shoe going there. So kind of like that. So what I need to do now is trace these onto my fabric. So all I do is I'm going to start with, let's start at the top with a hat. So it's going to kind of go there. And I think I've already put pencil marks on that side. So I think if I do this, like this, I should, yes, it's coming through. So I'm just going to go round and I'll just do one and then I'll do the others off camera. Because I have stitched into this fabric already, I think I've just moved my tracing a little bit over. It can be a little bit lumpy and bumpy, so you may want to do this on a flat piece of, just like I've got like some linen here, just some fresh linen. You could do it on that instead if you wanted, if you didn't want the whole background like this. I will link to the video that I did this background in. It was only a couple of videos ago. I think it was last week I did it, so it's not too far away if you're searching anyway, but I will pop a link down below. Stop there so that the ribbon can come down. I don't know if you can hear that. It's very windy here. The wind's picked up all of a sudden. Still quite warm. Very windy. Right, okay, I don't think that's too bad. I hope you can kind of see that a little bit. I can see it okay, so I'm going to be okay when I come to stitch. I can always refer back to my drawing. I mean, I'm just using pencil, but you can use your friction pen if you wanted to and iron it off. Just going over the lines a little bit more. I'll do, that's fine. Okay, so that's the first thing to do is trace. If you're worried about spacing, you can always trace everything on first. I like to do it I like to do it in pieces, but it's a preference. Okay, so I did think, I don't know whether you've seen red work done before, where it's just the embroidered outline in red, and I was going to do red, but then I was kind of looking at this and thinking the blue there. So what I've done is, because I'm trying to use up some of my threads, I've got these blues here. They're all kind of the same kind of colour, but they're kind of slightly a bit different. So what I thought I'd do is, because I just didn't want to just take one and run out or anything like that, what I'm going to do is mix them. So I will have, I'm doing this is going to be in 2 strands. So I will have one of that colour and then one of this colour. And it's kind of like, I suppose a little bit variegated, if you like, but it just uses up your threads. And it's kind of like you stick into the same kind of colour. You're not going to be able to tell that if I then go on to a different colour and do 2 of those, it's kind of going to be roughly the same. So it's not going to look out of place or anything like that. But I like to do that just to use up some of my threads sometimes. So I thought that's what I'd do on here. So I have chosen the blue. So it's going to be blue work rather than red work. Oh, that's a bit short. Let's try another one. That one is too. So I suppose that's the only problem, is they're going to be different lengths, but I can cut them and then use that bit at a later date. So I need a needle. And I'm just going to use a back stitch. You can do other stitches if you want. You could just split back stitch. But I'm just going to start anywhere and just back stitch all the way around the outlines. I do find this really relaxing, because once you've got your thing traced, your picture traced out, you can just go and sit down, have a relax and just stitch away and not have to think about too much. So I do like doing this. It's a bit like a sampler, I suppose, isn't it? But we're using pictures and a phrase rather than the alphabet or anything like that. So I just thought it'd be... Oh, can you hear that fly? Oh, this morning I was sorting the washing out and sorting out into colours and everything. And this moth, it must have gone in there overnight or something. This moth just flew out at me and I yelped. And John, my husband, he came over to me and says, "Are you okay?" Moth's just flown in my face and flew off. So we opened all the windows and doors, well, the doors, and it went out. It gave me a fright. it was black. When it was when the wings were all closed down, closed in, it was like black. But then when it opened up, it was all orange. The colours were lovely, but I don't like moths at all. I don't really like butterflies coming too near me either. I went to I can't remember where it was now. It was a zoo or something where there's the butterfly house, and I went in there with my children, and there was these massive butterflies, and people had got them landing on them and everything. Oh, it's my worst nightmare. I do not like it at all. Things like that. Oh, and don't talk to me about bats. We went into is it Chester Zoo? Is it Chester Zoo? Is that right, Chester? I think it's Chester Zoo. We went there when the children were little, and we went into the bat house. Oh dear me, that was awful. They were flying around. Oh, didn't like that at all. I think I'm just scared that they're going to get tangled in my hair. So I won't go all the way around for now, but I'm just going to go back stitch all the way around. So I'm going to finish that off, and then I may pop another couple on, and then I'm going to show you, I'm also going to be decorating around as well. So I will come back when I've got a little bit more progress done. So see you soon. So I've now finished my stitching, and it's still looking a little bit flat. So I'm happy with what I've done so far, but it's not looking finished yet. So I thought I would just grab some buttons. So I've got some mother of pearl buttons here. I thought they would be pretty to use, if I can fit those in. And also just some little, I really have just raided my scrap tin, just for some little pieces of fabric. So always keep your little pieces of fabric, because you never know when you need them. So I've got some of those, which are here, just some pretty fabrics which I thought I would add on. I've also thought I would pop in another colour, so I've gone for pink, and it's kind of like a coral pink, so I thought I would use that. And I've also just grabbed a little letter. It doesn't mean anything, but it's just a little Q. Thought I would pop that on somewhere. So there's those. I've got some lace to add on if I want lace, another piece of fabric. And then I've also just got my typewriter out and done some little words. So I've got as pretty as a picture. Thought I might put that as the title. So that goes there. Then I've got beautiful frock, which is going to go somewhere on that one. I've got lovely new shoes. That's going on that one. I've got pretty hat, and I've got cute little purse. So just thought I would pop those on somewhere, maybe there for that one. I'm not sure, perhaps down there. I don't know whether I want them on slant or not. Kind of want them linear, not on a diagonal, if you know what I mean. I think I'm just moving that out of here. I don't know where to put that one. Should I put that one there? Put that one there. That there maybe. No, I don't want it like that. Could go on there. That can go that way. That one can go like that. Kind of like that. And let's have a look at these fabrics. So I've got some little letter maybe down there. I've got that one. I was just trying to take off the bits that are fine. Let's just get rid of that bit there. Let's see what we've got. That's quite nice. A bit of blue. just laying them out so I can see what I've got. Oh, another little tiny bit there. Get that lace as well. I think there's 3 types here. Yeah, there's 3 types here. I don't want to go overboard with any more, but just it's kind of like little pops of interest. That's quite nice, isn't it? It's quite bright. Perhaps I could trim that down. That one. I'm not sure now whether I want lace or not. I don't know. It's just making it a bit too... I'm going off lace, so I'm going to put that to one side for the minute and just carry on with my fabrics. Let me just... I love this, but I think it's too big. It's going to take a tiny little bit of that. Sorry. That's too much, or I quite like that there actually. I'm just standing back a little. I'm just leaning back a little bit just so I can see it in perspective. I think I'm quite happy with that. I'm not sure about that colour. I've got one of those already, but I do like the little, I like the spotty. The spottiness. I kind of want it somewhere here. I feel as though it needs to go here somewhere. It's not working. Sometimes things fall into place and then other times they don't. I'm going to pop it there. I'm going to take that one off though. So I think that's it for all of my scraps. I'm not doing lace, I've decided, so that's that. And then I've got a little letter which I've just popped down there, and then I've got buttons. Let's have a look at buttons. Although I might do buttons as a last minute thing because then I've got to sew. Yeah, let's do buttons last. So what I'm going to do is I've got my thread. Okay, this is just an old thread that I've got, but it's quite a lot on that, so I don't think I'll be using it all up on this. And I'm just going to pin down my little pieces. Otherwise I'll forget where they all went and I have to start all over again. Where's that other one? It's hard to get through. Just take that off. I think I remember where that goes, so I'm just going to take that off so it doesn't get lost. I think that's it. Yep, that's it. So I've got my thread. Again, just 2 strands. Or I might just use one and double it up. Start at the top, just make sure it's level-ish. And I'm just going to go around with a straight stitch. I think that will just give the little pop of colour that I'm looking for, along with the little scraps. We'll kind of lift it. And these little, I can't remember whether I said these little words are made with my vintage typewriter. You just pop a piece of linen in, or cotton, and just type on it. But you could also use stamps. Or you could sew some more. I just like the difference of, I think it goes well when you kind of do different types and fonts and switch between handwritten and typed. So what I'll do is I'll go off camera and just do that. So all I'm doing is just going around, and I'm going to do all of that to all of these pieces in the same colour. So I'll be back soon. So I've now just sewn on the little labels, and I've sewn on all the little patches, and it was still looking a little bare. So what I've done is I've just done some little cross stitches here. I've done some random cross stitches here and here, and in just where the writing is, I've kind of gone round all of the words with just some little thread bobbles. So that's just a collection of little tiny satin stitches all kind of clustered together to make little bobbles. So lovely. I'm happy with how it's looking. I think it looks lovely. I'm just going to add some buttons. I think that's probably the last thing I'm going to do. And I thought I would embellish the dress just here. It's looking a little bit plain. So I've got my buttons here, and these are all kind of vintage. These are mother of pearl buttons. These ones are glass buttons, and then we've got some of the classic linen buttons. So I've got a few loose ones here, so I think I might use those. I might use one of these as well, so I'm going to take one of these off. It comes with, it's actually attached by a thin piece of wire. I'm just going to try and get the wire off. Is it going to come off? Yep. Then just a little piece of wire there. So I'm thinking I'm only going to have 3. So I was thinking maybe the linen button. I love that pink one. And then one of the mother of pearl buttons. So either that one that's a bit yellowish, or there's that whitish one. I'm not sure which one to put on actually. I think I'm going to go for that one because it's got 4 holes, whereas that's only got 2, so I can do the little cross on that one. So I think I'm going to use those. I'm going to stick with my coral pink thread. Let me just see how I'm going to arrange these. I think I'm going to have them like that. So I'm going to stitch this one on first. I'm just going to go through a few times just to attach it on. One more should be enough. There. I'm not going to bother cutting my thread off. I'm just going to go on to the next one. So this one I'm using the 4 holes to make a little X. That hole on that hole. There we go. More should be enough there. And then there's this little one here, the pinkish one, somewhere there. Making sure that they look okay. Yeah. Actually love how the embroidery pattern on this is kind of on the dress. I do like how that's fallen. It's just a coincidence, but maybe when I was placing all of my templates, then I was conscious of it, but I'm not sure. But I just like the way it's turned out. That it's the embroidery is kind of on the dress itself. So I think that looks really pretty. So that I think is about it. What I might do is just initial it. And so here maybe what I might do is just put 2025 and then my initials here, which I think I will do that. I'm going to probably use a pencil. just rolling away from me. Okay, my initials. So I'm just going to do these in a back stitch. I do sometimes forget to mark my work, but on the collages, I do kind of remember a lot of the times. I forget on other things. I think it's just nice to remember, especially when you know the year that you did it. I've got some that I did, you know, years ago, and then you kind of look and you don't need to kind of think, well, when did I do that? Because the date's on there, so it's kind of handy. And also, I suppose, for future generations, if this survives that long, it's passed down in the family. It'll be a nice little reminder of when it was done. So I'll be back in a second when I've finished it. Okay, that's all done. So the date and just my initials there. So that's all done. I'm really pleased with that. I love it, and I will probably hang that in my studio. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. Sometimes I will put tags on here, like little loops, and then feed a sometimes a knitting needle or a dowel through, pop some beads on the end, or I also have, let me show you on one of the other ones that I've got some of these, which are great. These are like trouser hangers, and they just clip onto the top. You can just clip them on, and then they hang like that. So I may try and find another one of these for it, and that will hang up in my studio, because I'm really pleased with it and I love it, and I've just got to think of the next one to do now. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it. Thank you for all your lovely comments that I get, and I do appreciate those as well. I try to reply to everybody as quickly as I can, but sometimes life gets in the way and it may be a few days before I do reply, but I always try and reply to everybody who comments. So thank you so much, and take care. See you soon. Bye bye.